Alright everybody, what's going on? It's Thundershot, and I'm here today to talk more about the new Dragon Ball Z game that's been announced, called Dragon Ball Project 2014 or whatever it is. Now, before this video gets underway, I want to point out two things. Number one, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, there's been a new game announced for Dragon Ball Z in 2014. It's not Battle of Z. I'm pretty sure it's not Battle of Z 2, but if you have no idea what I'm talking about, there's a link down below. It'll take you to a video that I made a couple days ago when the news first got dropped, and it'll tell you everything that we know right now about the new game. It's got the picture from the magazine that it was in, it's got the whole magazine cover, it's got a story along with it, and then I talk about some of my thoughts on what things could be. So if you want to catch up to date, link to that will be down below, right? Just click it, then come back to this video and we can talk more. Secondly, what you're seeing in the background right now is Battle of Z. This is Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z footage. It's just me playing a couple random games by myself against opponents. So just to get that out of the way, it's Battle of Z in the background that you're watching. Anyways, the first couple things I want to talk about today is, number one, I wanted to go a little bit deeper into my point. I said at first I thought that the new character was actually Trunks, right? Oh god, I lost the comment I wanted to keep in mind. Anyways, I said at first that the new character I thought was actually Trunks, and I said this because he had the Capsule Corp logo, he had a Scouter, and even though Trunks can sense power levels, Scouters were Saiyan trademarks. He has a cape, which doesn't really fit the Capsule Corp logo, but then the thing that made me think it was Trunks was in the bottom left-hand corner of the image, and again, if you click the old, click the link down below, it'll take you, you can pull up the image right there. But in the bottom left-hand corner of the image, there was a time machine, and it looked like a futuristic hyperbolic time chamber, and because everything was so futuristic, it made me think it was Trunks. Those were my reasonings for it, because I'm kind of afraid of one thing, and that's if they decide, like, alright, so we'll dive into this. It's probably not Trunks. We can say that. We can say it's probably character creation, and I'll talk about why I didn't think it was character creation in a second, but I was kind of afraid of one thing with this new game. I didn't want it to be a brand new character that they made that you were going to play in a story mode, or a character you could create. Don't get me wrong, I love character creation, I want character creation really badly, but hear me out. For story mode purposes, I didn't want someone to just come from a future timeline because that's screwed up. Because you know how many timelines there can be? Infinite. We could actually do this timeline thing forever, and to me that's just not the best idea. They can be a little bit more creative than just, oh, well, in this timeline, all this is chaotic, so you have to go back and do this. And then, like, they could do that literally an infinite amount of times because there's an unlimited amount of timelines in the Dragon Ball universe, if you think about it. But, no, aside from that, we move on to the fact that that character is probably a created character, and I wasn't able to confirm this, so I'm not 100% on it, but somebody did leave a comment in my last video saying that for the release trailer, or for the preview gameplay trailer of of Ultimate Tenkaichi, there was a character named Namco Bandai, and he had red Gohan hair and a Scouter. I can't confirm if he had a cape or not, but according to the comment, it was left by PHUQYU24, or if pronounced Fuck You 24. He says, guys, if you remember during the preview created character gameplay for Ultimate Tenkaichi, the people working on the game used a character named Bandai Namco, or Namco Bandai, and he had red hair, he had the same red hair that Gohan had, and he wore a Scouter. I think that's who the mystery character is. Now, this is kind of good and this is kind of bad. Good because we might be getting the thing we always wanted. We might be getting character creation the way we want it, be able to make as many characters as we want in the game, be able to save them, be able to use them in battle, stuff like that, and all that stuff. Now, I've talked about it before. If we have created character, we don't even need a big character. If the character creation is good enough, let me clarify. If the character creation is good enough, if there's enough options for hair, if there's enough size, maybe you can be a Namek instead of just a person or any kind of monster, if you can have your own transformations on your character, all that stuff. If the character creation is in-depth enough, we don't even need a big character roster, because if you think about it, as long as our character creation is good enough, we can just make those characters ourselves, right? That's the potential good part about this game, is it might have the character creation that we want, and that would be amazing. The bad news about this game, and going off of this comment, is if this is the same character that they used for the preview of Ultimate Tenkaichi, this might be Ultimate Tenkaichi 2, in which case I am tempted to just ignore this game completely. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be your #1 news source. We don't know anything about this game yet. This is merely speculation from the first piece of paper. Truth be told, I was really iffy on making this video because this is very soon to be jumping the gun on all this stuff. I'm just sorting out possibilities, though. But going back and looking at this photo, I don't want this to be Ultimate Tenkaichi 2 really, really badly. I don't want this to be Ultimate Tenkaichi 2. A lot of people are saying with this created character, if you look, I'll leave a link to the Saiyan Island article down below also. If you look at that, they have an English translated version, and there's a possibility that this is another hero mode, and I personally didn't care for hero mode that much in Ultimate Tenkaichi. Not only was the gameplay, in my opinion, like this is all my opinion, but I personally didn't care for Ultimate Tenkaichi hero mode that much, and that's aside from the gameplay, aside from the versus battles and all that stuff. Just this hero mode itself, I didn't really care for it. Just the way it played out and everything like that. So I don't want another hero mode like that. I can tell you that right now. I do not want this to be Ultimate Tenkaichi 2. It's way too early for this to be Battle of Z2, so don't even think about that. And this is kind of... one article mentioned this possibly being a new company working on it, but I can't guarantee that for sure either. Anyways, I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on how I felt about the character creation. Now, that we've got all that semi-negative stuff out of the way, that I've talked about everything like that, there is one more thing I wanted to get to. And that is kind of the what if. What if this is, like, we can assume it's still Namco Bandai, but we can assume that this is made by a different company than the people who made Battle of Z, gaming-wise, which I think is a good thing, because if this was Namco Bandai, then they just got done working on Battle of Z. How did they, or not Namco Bandai, but if this was the company that made Battle of Z, how did they have enough time to make this game this soon? You know, Battle of Z did not come out very long ago. So what I'm kind of hoping is maybe this is the game that we all wanted. You know, like, we had that game that we wanted. We wanted pretty much the remake of Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but where we could customize characters and a couple updates to features, and also, I mean, you know, they add like Bills and God Goku and Whis. That's what we wanted, right? I think we can almost say that in unison as a collective Dragon Ball Z fan base, that's what we wanted in a game. And instead we got Battle of Z, and in my opinion, it was way off the marker from what we wanted, but it wasn't necessarily bad. It was new. They were trying something different. They tried the 4-player thing. The only problem with Battle of Z, I thought, is that they took so many steps backwards in so many areas. Like, even something as simple as, like, navigating the menu and switching out characters can be kind of complicated in Battle of Z. So they took so many steps backwards. So instead of getting what we wanted, we got Battle of Z. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I enjoyed playing it. If I could go back in time, I would buy it again and do it all over again. But it wasn't what we... And I'm hoping... My point with this is that I'm hoping this game that we're looking at now, and it has the potential to, if this isn't Ultimate Tenkaichi 2, please God, don't be Ultimate Tenkaichi 2. And if the hero mode isn't super lame, if they give us the customizable characters that we want, if they have a vast roster, which we haven't, which we aren't getting by just this photo, but then again, it's only the first photo, so it's nothing to sweat. But this has the potential to be the game that we wanted, you know what I mean? I mean, we're starting fresh. It's a good sign that they're showing the customizable character. Kind of shaky that it's the one they used from photo, but then again, it's only the first photo, so it's nothing to sweat. But this has the potential to be the game that we wanted, you know what I mean? I mean, we're starting fresh. It's a good sign that they're showing the customizable character. Kind of shaky that it's the one they used from Ultimate Tenkaichi 1 and 2. It's got this new futuristic timeline, so they could be adding a bunch of extra stuff, like Dragon Ball Heroes, I believe, was a Japan-only game where they did a bunch of what-ifs, and like Super Saiyan Trunks got, or not Trunks, Future Trunks got to go Super Saiyan 3 and all this other stuff. There were extra characters. I want to be able to customize, like I said it before, as many characters as possible. I don't want to be stuck in a hero mode where I only get my one character in hero mode, then I have to make a new one, you know what I mean? But this could be that game, you know what I mean? This has the potential, and those are my high hopes for it. Oh, and also, real quick, as a side note, I found out why the game isn't being released for Xbox One, as of now. And it's because the Xbox One isn't out in Japan. I had no idea that was the case. Apparently Microsoft kind of gets stomped over in Japan, so they didn't even bother releasing the Xbox One over there. So that's why, because Dragon Ball Z, of course, based in Japan. There might not even be an Xbox One release. The Xbox 360, however, is still out in Japan, so that's why that's getting that. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting note. Anyways, that's about, I think I covered just about everything I wanted to. Just to reiterate, the character is probably a created character. I'm hoping it's not necessarily the hero mode from Ultimate Tenkaichi. I'm hoping this doesn't mean this game is Ultimate Tenkaichi 2. The graphics, as far as like the punches and stuff go, and again, these are just like little comic cutouts, so we don't know anything right now, but it does not look like it's going to be the same as Battle of Z, which in my opinion was good. Battle of Z, it wasn't bad, it was just different, and I think they're going to be doing their own thing with this title. But yeah, I've talked about everything I want to talk about. I rambled a little bit more than I wanted to, but I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this gameplay. It's just me fighting Super Saiyan 3 Goku. But subscribe if you're new around here. Again, click that old video to get up to date if you haven't already. As always, I'm Thundershot, and I'm out. Peace, guys.
Can't be. Exactly.